Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you from the Hot Lead Zone. And we got another coffee chat going. Over there you see we got a cup set up for Tim Robinson. He's coming over because I took up his advice. He said that the Eastwood Violet powder was really good. And so I told him that I was going to go ahead and order another batch of powders from Eastwood, and I'm going to include the Violet in there because he recommended it, and I'm kind of anxious to give it a try to see if I get the same results that he got. And if I do, that means that you got two positive reviews on the Violet from Eastwood in case you want to use it yourself out there. So Tim's going to be dropping by pretty soon. I got a Starbucks mug all ready for him. Well, if you want to check out what Tim's doing with powder coating over there on his site, it's his channel is under his name, Timothy Robinson. And Timothy, we got here some cookies all ready for you. Grab hold. Well, I've also got a mug set up for Full Lead Taco because he likes to help others, and that happens to be one of the things that is on the Scout code here. One of the values says helpful, and there's the Scout oath, and this one is a mug to celebrate a friend of mine whose son made Eagle Scout. But anyway, Full Lead Taco is going to drop by, and we're going to talk over some of his Thompson Center Encore barrels that I don't have. He's got the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum, the Katahdin barrel, and I think that's a nice barrel. I'm thinking about getting it, but I want to talk to him about it before I do that. And he happens to like cookies, so I'm gonna bribe him with some cookies to get the information out of him. Ha! Incidentally, I want to show some fine craftsmanship from Tennessee. Nick Ross sent me this handle that's great for the ingot molds that he made for me. It fits perfectly and it's very firm and sturdy, so that we can pour the ingots and then knock them out like this, all while staying cool with the handle. So I thought the guys would like to see the example of this from Nick Ross. Thanks to Nick. Well, what I thought I'd show you is some of this ammo that I got in 223 5.56 caliber that I'm going to go ahead and test the Thompson Center Encore 223 barrel you see in the background there. We're going to go ahead and shoot some of this factory ammo to get a good baseline on what the performance of that barrel might be. And I'm also going to shoot some of my reloads that I've got ready to go. Shoot some of those, test some of those also with some 5-shot groups to see how they stack up against the factory ammo, just straight up, not even doing any load development, just shooting some of my varmint loads. So we're going to go to the range. Let's go ahead and have a look at some of this factory ammo. Well, first a good swig of coffee. But anyway, there we go. Now this happens to be Winchester 62 grain open tip training ammo, and it looks pretty good. Let's get a close-up of that for you. Now this ammo has the hollow point 62 grain bullet, and it's got some kind of lacquered casing there, but it's not steel. And there's no steel in the bullet either, because I can run a magnet on these and nothing sticks. So if your range has prohibitions against steel ammo or steel core or steel jacket ammo, no problem. This is not steel jacketed, and the casings are some kind of, it's not a steel, but it doesn't look like it's brass either. But this is by Winchester, and it looks like it's pretty good ammo. Now the RCBS Precision mic reads that headspace of this ammo as being +2. So it's not good for tight chambers, but it should be fine for our Thompson center barrel. We shall see. Now, in measuring other rounds from that box to see how consistent they are, I got 1.5 with that one, and this one is at 2. So it's right at 1.5 to 2, and I would suspect the whole box is pretty consistently made. And if you take one of those rounds and chamber it in the barrel, you'll find that the action locks up just fine. Now, it's safe to do this because the hammer is not cocked, and we simply unload it and verify that it's unloaded. So we know that that ammo does chamber fine, so this chamber is at least 0.002 on SAMI specs, plus 0.002. It may be plus 0.003. We'll know when we get the fired brass. Well, one thing is we should mention before we get inundated by comments that the 5.56 ammo is a little bit higher pressure than the 223, and normally we wouldn't want to shoot 5.56 ammunition in 223 chambers. Now the reverse is okay. Shooting all 223s and 5.56s is okay. The one exception might be the use of the Thompson Center Contender or Encore. This rifle is so strong that it can easily handle 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 extra PSI, and the 5.56 was designed to shoot higher pressure because the guns were freeboard with extra lead in the rifling so that you could actually have extra powder charge for higher pressure safely. Well, with the Thompson Center Encore, you got safety, plenty of safety for the 5.56. Now, this other ammo is also by Winchester. It's 5.56 ammo, 50 grain bullet, and it's got the open tip frangible bullet. So there's a black tip on that. Nice looking ammo. They're loaded in Winchester military cases, but brand new brass. So some kind of military ammo being sold as civilian, but if you go ahead and mic this ammo, you see it's at -2, which means that this has a little bit of excessive headspace, so that if your rifle is 0.003 plus, then that means you're going to have 5 thousandths of head stretch. Well, that's not too bad. We can live with that, but let's go ahead and check one from the other end of the box and see what this one is. And it's at minus just a little bit less than 2. So it's pretty consistent. Should be safe to shoot this ammo, even though the chamber in the 223 barrel might be somewhere around 0.003 plus. Once again, we'll know better once we fire this brass and measure the brass as fired. Well, let's go ahead and check the chambering in the Thompson Center Encore. You notice something interesting. You cannot cock the Thompson Center Encore when the action is open. This prevents you from closing a loaded round with the action cocked. So there goes the round. Chambers very readily. Now let's go ahead and unload. So verify that we have an unloaded gun, and we're good. Now suppose this ammo did not chamber, even though the precision mic said that the head space should allow it to chamber. Well, if it didn't chamber, that would mean that the seating depth of the bullets was such that the ogive was actually hitting the lands at the barrel and not letting the action close. So we would suspect seating depth of the bullets in case those did not chamber. Now if the RCBS precision mic showed that the head space was longer than the head space of the gun or the barrel, then of course those rounds won't chamber because the rounds are too long. The casing itself is too long. But that wasn't the case. By the way, this ammo is available at Big 5 for $12.99 for a box of 20. That's not a bad price for 223 ammo. It's quite possible to spend $1 a round on soft points or hollow point ammunition. Even more if you're looking at match ammunition. Now we're also going to test some of my varmint ammunition that you see here. These are loaded with 50 grain pointed soft point Remington bullets. And so let's go ahead and mic these. They should be at 0 because these were loaded from my Model 700 Remington Police heavy barrel, and that one has the head space of the barrel at 1. So I set these at 0, and you see that's right at 0. So these should chamber, and in fact the overall length is within what the barrel is for this bullet, for that Encore 223 barrel. Okay, so here are my varmint loads right here. We'll go ahead and chamber that. Chambers just fine. Once again, we unload. Verify that it's unloaded. So we're going to take this ammo to the range and shoot multiple groups with them and see what kind of baseline we can get with factory ammo before we start doing our load development work to see if we can beat factory performance. So let's go ahead and head for the range. Well, that sure was a good cup of coffee. I feel very well caffeinated now. We'll have to finish a coffee chat with the guys later on. As for the rest of you, we'll see you at the range and on the next video. Bye for now.